so corrupt, incurably corrupt, that even me as the president of a country, I cannot get justice in those courts. What kind of message is he sending to ordinary mortals like you and me, who then are relying on the courts to resolve the disputes that we are having?
Because the question then comes in, Wakili, what then, where do Kenyans go to if the president would complain and say that the judiciary is, corrupt, it is hindering and hampering his development agenda? One. Two, when you look at the situations and even the people around him, if you could call it per se, seem to be agreeing with what the president is saying, and even some quarters arguing that even if the president disobeys court orders, there is nowhere that he can go.
Well, I have seen those arguments.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? It means that the president then has conducted a constitutional coup, where he has elevated himself above the Constitution.
Okay.
And that is not a healthy state of affairs for any democratic government. Any democratic government operates on the basis of checks and balances, on the restrained exercise of authority.
Yeah.
Where any person then seeks to exercise unrestrained exercise on power, or unrestrained exercise of their authority has been donated to them by the Constitution.
Yes.
Then you create a situation of anarchy. You create a situation of what we ordinarily call impunity.
Yeah.
And that impunity is extremely dangerous to a growing economy and a country that is trying to come out of a difficult period that we have witnessed. One of the things that we must never forget is the history of this country. And that is why when it comes to interpreting even the Constitution, one of the things that we look into is the history of the country.
Yes.
What led people to make certain provisions as they are contained in the Constitution? What lessons? And when we look back, we see the lessons that we learned from a strong arm executive.
Yes.
The dictatorial issues that we went through with a strong executive.
Yes.
And that is the reason why the Kenyan people said, even though in an ideal situation, we have three arms of government that check one another, we are even going to add an additional arm in the form of constitutional commissions that will be checking how power is exercised.
Okay.
So that history then is extremely important as a country.
Yeah.
And as we ask ourselves just how important some of these things are.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I keep saying, that the problem with things like rights, human rights, as contained in the Constitution, they sound like catchphrases until the day it happens to you. Until the day you go to court and the court cannot enforce your rights, or you are given an order of court and somebody looks at it and says, this is just a mere piece of paper, because the authority that is supposed to be contained in the order that the court has given you has been taken away.